Hey, welcome back to Panic Butter. Hey, this is Tony. Glad to see ya. Thanks for making it here and joining us. We got a great one for you today. A little strange, little creepy. Some blasts from the past. You know the ones. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Join the rest of us. We already know. We're here. We're gonna do it. Are you ready? It will be good. And as always, if you have any questions and comments, you know where to leave them. Or send me a message. We're ready to do it. Here we go. In our first clip, it's going to be pretty interesting. Pretty spooky. Has a great past story. Well, not great, but interesting. Here we go.
In this next video, a grandmother is celebrating her birthday while being surrounded by friends and family, all of whom are singing happy birthday to her. As the video plays out, it seems that this footage is nothing more than just a normal video of someone recording their grandma, or at least seems like that. Because, as you continue to watch, something happens that makes this video stuff of nightmares. This is what was caught. As everyone collectively sings, a shadow-like figure bolts behind the grandma. In a swift motion, the figure is gone. It rushes over at full speed, but not so fast that we can't discern what this was. As viewers have noted, it kinda looks like a child, or a girl to be exact, who's running at an inhuman speed. Perhaps it was running so fast that no one had noticed it except the camera. Now this video becomes a whole lot creepier when reading the description it came with. As it states, the grandmother in this footage had a daughter who unfortunately passed away many years ago. When she was alive, she would often run around the house while playing with her older sibling. It's for this reason that she believes that this was her spirit. But as always, you be the judge on what was captured. Was a ghost caught on camera, or had something else been caught?
Wow, that's Creepsville 101 there. That'll definitely get your attention. How'd you like to be that old and see it? If you didn't know any better, it would definitely get a hold of you. Just like it does everybody else. Creepy, strange. Let's move on. We got another one. We got more. Here we go. And if you go out a lot, you may want to pay attention to this.
Now we don't know how, and we don't know why, but people are being murdered. So this is the Valley of the Headless Men. It is truly one of the most mysterious and unexplored places on Earth. Now in 1908, two brothers went into the valley looking for gold. They disappeared. 2 years later, they were found beside the Nahanni River, decapitated. Their heads were never happened again, and again, and again. In the last 100 years, 44 people have gone missing in the valley, only to be found without their heads. Some of them have even been burned alive before being decapitated. In the 60s, some hikers claimed that they saw a Bigfoot-like creature. But every hiker in the 60s claimed that they saw Bigfoot, so I'm not convinced personally. Now, the Dene people have lived in this region for thousands of years, and their oral history warns the Naha tribe, an ancient cannibalistic people who used to hunt in the valley. No trace of any human settlement has ever been found in the valley. It is a dead zone. Now, we still don't know why this happens. Claims that these were animal attacks does not explain why so many of them were burned to their 100 years of murders by the same method.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? That's nothing that you want to find out about if you're going to go camping, especially if you are in that area. Oh, that would definitely ruin your camping. Try learning about it when you are already there. Until then, let's go to another one. See what's up. Here we go. In this next one, we have some creepy. Some strange. What is that? These shadow figures from the 90s. Yeah, they were there then too. Who would have guessed? Creepy. How would you like to see that coming down your hallway? Now it is pretty strange. Looks like there may be more than one of them, but I don't know. Something's definitely there. And in and out, kind of in and out. Shadow figure, lens flare, I don't know. What do you think? Creepy. From the 90s. Definitely creeped somebody out when they took it, sat at home, popped it in their VCR, and went, oh my. What is that? You know, it creeped them out. It's not like it is today. It's a lot different now. But, oh well. Leave your thoughts below, let me know. Do you have anything like that happening to you in the past or in the present? This is what's happening today in climate, I think. You know. Pay attention. Here we go.
Just salt in Canada's history to crush myself and 6 researchers looking through microscopes at plankton samples. That scares the living daylights out of most people. I'm Russ George, and I'm considered a heretic because I want to restore the oceans and restore the climate of the planet and save the world and not make a whole bunch of money as a goal.
Radicals, dissidents, rebels, and misfits. You can call them whatever you like. But what if they're right?
My life these days is dedicated to restoring the health of ocean to its historic levels of abundance. And we do that by treating the ocean as a series of ocean pastures, which is common sense on land. The process of restoring ocean plant life to its historic abundance is not my invention. A great scientist, John Martin, pointed out in 1988, if you take a tiny bit of mineral dust back to the ocean, that will help the plankton bloom and can allow the oceans to remove the vast majority of humanity's carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. That's a few 100,000 tons of iron ore rock. Well, Australia sells to China every year 600 million tons of iron ore rock. So if we wanted to restore the world's oceans health and save the world from climate change, we merely need to deploy a team of people with brooms and dustpans to sweep up the dust around the great iron ore shipping ports in Australia. If we use the ocean and the sun to power photosynthesis, we can mitigate climate change. And it won't take decades to do that. It will take mere years. Instead of costing trillions of dollars, it will merely cost millions of dollars. Ocean pasture restoration has the capacity to pull 30 to 35 billion tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere every year and repurpose it into new ocean life. Humanity only emits 45 billion tons, so that's 3/4 of the burden of the fossil fuel age. The knee-jerk reaction that many people have about humans putting anything in the ocean is often completely out of context. When the dust blows out of the Sahara Desert and blows towards the Amazon, 700 million tons a year of African dust lands in the Amazon basin, and it provides minerals and nutrients that allow the Amazon rainforest to grow. On the way to the Amazon, more dust than that lands in the ocean. In 2012, with a small native Indian village in British Columbia, we took our dust out to their ocean pasture. We sprinkled the dust over 10,000 square kilometers. Plankton grew into a 50,000 square kilometer bloom. All of ocean life came to the bloom and feasted. That project took probably 500 million tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and repurposed it into that ocean life. And the measure of success was intending to bring the fish back. Well, the very next year, the pink salmon that we targeted in Alaska, they were expecting to catch 50 million pink salmon, which was going to be a very healthy catch. But following our pasture restoration, the Alaskans had to stop fishing after catching 225 million salmon, which was the largest catch of salmon in all of history. It just works. Right? There's no question. It simply works.
So what you're saying is accurate. It doesn't cost trillions, it costs millions. Well, there's people out there with millions. There's people with millions to burn. I've seen what Nick Cage spends his money on.
Well, they don't, because of the attacks that have taken place on people who have worked in this. So when John Martin in 1988 said he had the solution for climate change, he was declared a heretic because the solution was too good, too fast, too easy. So the people today who expect to be spending those trillions of dollars, this is the worst news ever. So when I did the work with my village of 800 native people in British Columbia, we thought nothing could be better. We dotted every I, crossed every T. And then the week before Easter, in 2013, there was a pounding bang on our research office and laboratory in Vancouver. And in burst an 11-man Canadian government SWAT team with body armor and automatic weapons. Even though the Government of Canada was our full, formal, contractual partner in the project, they decided to raid the office and destroy the data collections and our ability to complete the science. So I was declared a rogue American oligarch who swindled the poor, hapless natives into doing this illegal activity. When there's an example of what happens to a heritage, nobody wants to repeat that. 50 to 70 years, we've horrifically destroyed half of all ocean life. And so we have to restore it. It's a life or death situation. Ocean pasture restoration is about becoming good shepherds of the oceans. We need every invention that has ever been invented to tend to the land in an agricultural sense. If you shepherd, recreate it, tend to the 72% of this planet that is ocean. We take care of Mother Nature, she takes care of you. My name is Russ George, RUSF, If you remember that, because I work with rust. Iron.
Crazy, huh? Never thought of that. Probably never heard of that either. There's somebody with some receipts. Everybody wants to change it though. They don't want to have it. It's too easy. It doesn't cost anything, or it costs way less. So the control steps in and, pay attention to Oregon. That's what's going on. Here we go next.
Two daughters, one 13 years old and one 3 years old. On the night of February 20th, 2022, three of them went shopping together. Their home security camera would show them returning home, seen walking inside and closing the door behind them. Shortly after, in the frames from around their parked truck.
Uh-oh.
The very first thing he does is try to open the door.
What did you? What did you?
Yep, he coming. Do not open the door.
A few times, the man walks away. However, they later found that for the next 5 minutes, on his phone. Ali further reviewed the videos and found that it appears the man had been following them in his car all the way from the store. A few seconds after they parked in the driveway, his car drives a bit further and parks a few houses down. After a few more seconds, he gets out and starts walking towards them. Thankfully, they were able to get everything inside and the door locked before he got them. Ali ended by writing, "I don't know what this man's intentions were, but I don't think it was to rob us. I do believe that this was random, but that he saw two girls go into a house alone. Police were the man in the video was never found."
Yeah, he doesn't have good intentions. No way. I don't care what you say. There's no good intentions there. He followed him home, parked down the street, and creeped up to the door. Hung out. Something's up. What happened after that? That's the question. Did it ever happen again? I don't know. We'll have to find out. Till then, let's look at another one. Here we go.
This blows my mind and also kind of creeps me out. That video is from 1906 in England. Do you see these people reacting to being filmed, presumably for the first time in their lives, and for the first time in anyone's lives, ever? So now here's what I want you to do. I want you to imagine going back and talking to them. And explain to them the device you watched this video on. then explain the app or platform you watched it on. And then tell them which video you saw before and after it. In my case, the video before was a steel mill accident. The video after was a disabled raccoon who is also a food critic. They had no idea what was coming. And neither do we.
Oh man, you know that would just open up so many more questions. What in the heck is that? What's that light? What's that? What's a game? What's an app? Oh, you know, so many questions. The sad part is, people from today, not a lot of them would have the answers. Oh, that's the crazy part, huh? Here we go. Let's see what's up next.
In the vast tapestry of the American Wild West, few figures loom as large or as enigmatically as Doc Holliday. Skilled dentist turned gambler and gunfighter, his life is a curious blend of fact and fiction. His role in iconic events like the shootout at the OK Corral has solidified his place in history.
Come on out here! Yeah! Who you want, Ike? Wants to give a message to your pal Holiday.
Doc, I don't have time for this.
Look, you tell him he's got a fight coming, all right?
Doc, I'm an officer of the law. I don't want to hear this kind of talk.
What about you, Wyatt?
Not gonna fight you. There's no money in it.
No, I reckon it's about time we fetch all this fight and talk to a close anyhow. You boys see Holiday, tell him I'm waiting for him. As a matter of fact, I'm waiting for all of you in the morning.
If we have any luck, he'll pass out and forget about the whole thing.
When's our luck ever been that good?
Never.
And from the myth is a challenge. As stories, songs, and movies have often romanticized and exaggerated the era, the truth about Holiday becomes all the more captivating. This tale ventures beyond the legends to uncover the real Doc Holliday, a complex individual whose actual life might just be as thrilling as the tales that surround him. Early life and education. Amidst the tumultuous backdrop of mid-19th century America, John Henry Holiday, later known to the world as Doc Holliday, was born in August 1851. The period was marked by immense changes, with wars altering the very fabric of the nation. As a child, Holiday was touched by these national events, but his immediate surroundings would prove to be equally influential in shaping his character. His father had a strong military background, having served in the Mexican-American War. Only a decade after John's birth, the Civil War would tear the nation apart, and once again his father took up arms, this time in defense of the Confederacy. The sheer intensity of the era, with battles raging and neighbors often pitted against one another, could have easily made a young Holiday a hardened soul. However, his family's move in 1862 to Valdosta, Georgia, aimed to protect him from the direct horrors of war, shielding him from the immediate impacts of this national conflagration. Despite the chaotic environment, John's childhood was filled with moments of serenity and intense learning. Under the protective gaze of his mother, he was kept away from the combative activities of the war, ensuring that the confrontations around him didn't translate into his personal interactions. Instead of learning about war tactics or handling weapons, young John was groomed for a different battle, the academic world. By the age of 20, John's thirst for knowledge led him to pursue a specialized education, culminating in a Doctor of Dental Surgery degree from the prestigious Pennsylvania College of Dental Surgery. It was an admirable feat for anyone, let alone someone from his background, and it paved the way for his endeavors. However, the world hadn't yet met Doc Holliday. They knew John, brilliant student. The journey from an intellectual prodigy to the notorious legend of the Wild West had just begun. but it would be this foundational education and discipline it instilled that would help define the enigmatic figure Doc Holliday would become, scourge of tuberculosis. Tuberculosis, a debilitating disease, stalked 19th century America, taking lives indiscriminately and sowing seeds of dread in countless hearts. This treacherous ailment would come to play an inordinate role in the life of John Henry Doc Holliday, casting a shadow over his bright and steering the course of his destiny in ways he could never have imagined. The first agonizing encounter John had with the disease was when it claimed the life of his beloved mother, Alice, in 1866. She was only 36. For a young John who had been nurtured under her tutelage, the loss was profound. Not only was she his beacon of support and love, but she had also been his first tutor, guiding him through the early intricacies of language and academia. The void she left was not one that could be easily filled. The trauma of this loss was compounded by another harrowing revelation just a few years later. After graduating and embarking on his dental profession, John himself began to manifest telltale signs of tuberculosis. It was a cruel irony. He had just earned his doctorate and was poised to heal others, yet he was rendered powerless against the ailment silently taking root within him. The emotional and psychological toll was heavy. John's dreams of establishing a thriving dental practice were jeopardized, not just by his deteriorating health, but also by societal perception. The contagious nature of the disease meant that he soon became patients reluctant to seek treatment from a man who was visibly ailing. The irony was biting. He was trained to alleviate pain and provide care, but his own body had turned into an adversary, and society, a judge. John's condition urged him to relocate, as the humid southern climate exacerbated his symptoms. The dry, arid regions of the American West were thought to be beneficial for tuberculosis. So, with hope of recovery, or at least some respite from his symptoms, John Holliday turned his gaze westward. The West was wild, untamed, and very different from the structured life he had known in Georgia, but it held the allure of a new start, and perhaps more significantly, the promise of better health. The reality, as it often is, was probably somewhere in between. Tuberculosis had taken a toll on his body, but it had also forged a spirit that refused to yield. John Henry Holliday, the brilliant academician from Georgia, had been transformed by his ailment. In his place stood Doc Holliday, a legend of the Wild West, whose very name evoked a mixture of awe, respect, and fear. And while the world saw the gambler, the gunslinger, and the friend of Wyatt Earp, those who looked closely could still see the shadows of the disease that had, in so many ways...
Wow, that's crazy. The gunfight at the OK Corral. Yeah, that video, I took that video. I went down there on vacation while I lived in Arizona. Really wasn't a vacation, it was just down the road. Really cool though. If you haven't been there, you should go check it out. Travel. That is it. Probably not the same today, but it'll get better. Till then, let's move on. Here we go.
To see this as world-ending biblical structures are coming out of hiding and everything we know about religion and science is all changing. The archaeologists in Turkey found archaeological evidence showing proof that the Bible is actually real. A supernatural biblical ending with the date potentially already set. The Bible mentions one of the last locations Noah's Ark was left in was Turkey, and after archaeologists went there, they were terrified to discover a 515 feet creepy structure that was identical to the Bible's Ark that was buried deep underground. With the terrifying 3D scan done on site, researchers were able to see an actual human-made boat under the ground, with marine equipment and food found inside, as well as several other internal measurements lining up exactly to what the Bible detailed, and even showing artifacts like rivet and petrified deck timber, which are only materials that were used to build boats in ancient times, making people terrified at how this would be documented otherwise in the Bible before scientists even knew this boat existed.
Yeah, that's crazy, huh? It's big. It's actually there. What is it? We don't know. Everybody has a theory. What's yours? What do you think it is? If you could go there and check it out and do whatever you wanted, would you? If you had some answers, what would it do? I don't know. I don't have any. Looking for them though. Till then, let's move on. Here we go.
spoken about in the Bible is on the earth right now. It also accompanies the largest mountain in the world, which is being hidden from you, which is the holy mountain of God, Mount Zion. So they have told us that there is no land at the North Pole, except all the early NASA satellite footage has center where something is being hidden. It's the Garden of Eden in the Mount Zion. This is an early map of the North Pole from the 1500s. You have a mountain here in the middle with a whirlpool, and then 4 rivers coming out of that whirlpool. And a river went out of Eden to water the garden, and from thence it was parted and became into 4 heads. You have Mount Zion, and then under Mount Zion you have the Garden of Eden. You have the whirlpool or the river coming out from underneath there, and then that river breaks into 4 heads. In the center here it's called the Rupus Nigra, translates to Black Rock, which is also the name of the largest investment company in the world. Coincidence? I think not. I also took a live wind finder shot of the North Pole where they say there's no land, but there's this massive diversion of wind here at the North Pole. It is Mount Zion. And how do I know the Garden of Eden is here too? Well, first, remember, we have the 4 rivers. Ezekiel 29, verse 13, Thou hast been in Eden, the garden of God. Thou wast upon the holy mountain of God. So Mercator, when he made this map, he actually sent it in a letter to John Dee in 1577. John Dee was an advisor to Queen Elizabeth, so this letter was literally sent to the Queen. This mountain was also depicted by many ancient cosmologists. It's not a coincidence that Paramount has it in their logo. Then what do you think this represents? It represents God's firmament with the stars inside the firmament. He made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. Now, if you didn't know, on the flat earth map, the North Pole is literally at the very center, so this mountain is at the center of the flat earth. Just how it's depicted here. Now we're going to read this scripture from the book of Enoch, which was removed from the Bible. From thence I proceeded the middle of the earth, and beheld a happy and fertile spot. So Enoch was in the middle of the earth. Then I saw a holy mountain, and underneath it water on the eastern side which flowed towards the south. Guys, literally just pull up a live wind finder view and go to the North Pole, and you can clearly see there's something huge there. If you want to learn more about this, go download the True Earth book right now. It tells you all these hidden things about the flat earth. It also comes with access to our private Discord community. So wake up. They don't want you to know this stuff because it proves the existence of God, and it proves that His Word is true. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one.
Hey, what do you think about that? There's a lot there, huh? There's a lot to think about. Let them do the research. We will just watch it because it is very interesting. Everybody has a theory and everybody has an opinion. It's just up to us to go through it and see what we like. See what we can take in and learn from. If you made it this far, hey, thanks for joining us. Hit the subscribe button so you know when we put out our next video. We're growing and we thank our subscribers. That's you. I'll see you next time.